We would need to make another essential movie first in order for all of us to be ready for Secret Wars.
July 27th, 2024, Marvel announced that Kang Dynasty will now be DoomsDay. No one expected them to move on from Kang so quickly, but then they did something no one else expected. They brought back Robert Downey Jr. to play Dr. Victor Von Doom. A lot of people were excited, while leaving others, like myself, skeptical. Why are you bringing him back? I'm sure there were hundreds of other actors that could play Doom, but Marvel hasn't let us down with a casting yet. So while I think Doom will be a great villain, what will happen with Kang? Let's dive in. Kang was set up to be the next big bad, and his introduction as He Who Remains in Loki was amazing, but the audience didn't see his threat, and I can't blame him. Kang was supposed to be dangerous, someone who has seen it all and knows how it ends, trying to stop his variants. Loki made me believe this guy's a bigger threat than Thanos, and this is the reason Kang should have never been an Ant-Man Quantumania. In this movie, Marvel gave us Kang. Not just any Kang, the Conqueror. Why? You have someone called the Conqueror, someone so dangerous that the other Kangs cast him out, and you have him defeated in an Ant-Man movie of all places? Why would you not seek this character for the main event? When I think of Kang, I don't think of Rama Tut, Scarlet Centurion, or any other type of variant. I think of the Conqueror.
Straight up.
Every other Kang should be threatened by his presence, and it seems like they were, which is why they cast him out. And you're telling me the guy every Kang was scared of, the guy who gets Ant-Man confused with Thor,
You're not the one with the hammer.
the guy who has killed so many Avengers and destroyed so many timelines that it all blends together,
They all blur together after a while.
was defeated by an army of ants and lost to Ant-Man in a fist fight?
That feels like an oversimplification.
Oh, it definitely is. Look at Thanos. We never see Thanos' full army in Infinity War, yet we feel the strength of it. I believe how powerful they are. Thanos beat Hulk in a one-on-one. In Endgame, Thanos was taking on Cap, Thor, and Iron Man on his own. We see how big his army is. There's a reason he and his army is so revered by everyone who encounters them. The only reason we won is because Iron Man took the stones and snapped. So I believe everything he says. In Fantastic Four, Galactus is described as a planet eater. Before we even see him, he devours a planet 13% larger than Earth. So when he says he's going to eat the Earth and take Franklin, I believe him. Their claim of what they've done fits their current actions. The Conqueror never made me believe. I could see Victor Timely developing into more of a threat than the Conqueror.
Damn!
Kang was mishandled to say the least, but that doesn't mean he should be thrown into the void and forgotten, and this can be handled in Secret Wars. Before we get into Secret Wars, let's talk about Doomsday. Doom works as a villain, but how is Marvel going to address the sudden shift to Kang? Of course, they don't have to. The way Loki 2 ended, they were going around the multiverse picking up all the Kang variants. So in theory, they could move on from Kang very easily, but easy isn't always the way to go. If this isn't going to be Kang's movie, then he should at least be in it. Kang was set up to be the next big bad of this saga, so having Kang in this movie would allow the audience to see a transfer of power. Kang could go to Doom for help, but he drastically underestimates how smart he actually is. This works perfectly because while people know who Doom is, they don't know the full capabilities of this Doom, allowing all of us to understand the threat. Having Doom kill Kang early on so that the audience can see just how powerful Doom is, and this could be in the first 5 minutes, like a Thanos fighting Hulk situation, or even having him annihilate the entire Kang Council. I don't know how effective that would be, considering we don't know how powerful the variants are, but it would make for a cool scene. Now, if you don't have Kang in the movie at all, then there has to be an explanation. And the only one that works is that Doom is trying to break the loop. This loop is something that has been talked about in all the movies and TV shows that involve Kang. It starts and ends with him. So what if Doom is trying to break that cycle and build his own kingdom where he's in charge of the timeline? This would allow Marvel to keep Kang out of both movies and focus 100% on Doom. But him trying to break the loop is the exact problem and the reason that Kang needs to return in Secret Wars. May 6, 2015, Jonathan Hickman, the writer of New Avengers and the Future Foundation, brought us a new story with a very familiar title, Secret Wars. this story would again see the Beyonder, which is a godlike being in the Marvel Universe. We first met him back in the 80s Secret Wars comic, but this time he's not teleporting heroes, he's destroying them. And he's not alone. This time, there are multiple Beyonders, and they are causing incursions. Incursions are what happen when two universes crash into each other. When the heroes of these different worlds learn of these incursions, Reed Richards and other heroes build life rafts, ships that would survive the destruction of the world. A small team of heroes, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, and Molecule Man, team up to fight them head on. And that's when Doom starts farming XP. I'm not joking. Doom goes around the multiverse, killing variants of Molecule Man so that they could have the strength to defeat the Beyonders. Once they gain enough, Doom, Strange, and Molecule Man face off against the Beyonders. Then, 616 and the entire universe is gone. Now, here's where the story gets interesting, if it wasn't already. We are now on a new planet, a planet with a multi-dimensional police force called the Thor Corps, and it's led by Jane Foster, and they all answer to one man. God Emperor Doom. The Beyonders weren't just watching the end of the world, they were causing it. They were the ones who created all of the Molecule Men across the multiverse, and they all were ticking time bombs, and they were being activated, which is why Doom and friends had to get to them first. They used these bombs against the Beyonders, but after they were destroyed, the Beyonders' powers were still present. So in a last-ditch effort, Molecule Man acts as a conduit for the power and transfers it to Doom to rebuild the universe. Only, he instead builds a kingdom of loyal servants, with Molecule Man still providing him power and Strange as his sheriff. While in this new world, they discover a ship, and this isn't the first time they have found a ship like this. In fact, they found a similar one 3 years earlier, and when it opens, the heroes from 616 emerge. This is the start of a major uprising against Doom, with Reed standing against Doom one last time and defeating him. Then Franklin uses his abilities to build a new world, one that is all new, all different, rolling the timelines once again. Rolling timelines are a concept where every 10 to 15 years the timeline resets. When a character is happy for a little too long, they roll the timelines and put them back right where they started, keeping the character in the present day. If Spider-Man was on the Tonight Show in the 60s talking to Johnny Carson, the rolling timelines means he's now talking to Jimmy Fallon. Iron Man was in the Vietnam War, but rolling timelines put him in Iraq. Same event, different era. A soft reboot of the Marvel comics that changed Marvel as a whole forever. Ms. Marvel was pushed to the forefront and got a show 10 years later. Falcon as Captain America was introduced and got a show 10 years later. Ironheart was introduced and got a show 10 years later. Secret Wars will change the MCU as we know it, but everything that happens in the comics isn't going to happen on screen. Look at how the Russos did Infinity War and Endgame. Even telling the story of Secret Wars, they left a lot out. We aren't going to get the Beyonders, Molecule Man, or countless other heroes that show up in this story. If we haven't already met them in some capacity, I don't think we're going to see them on screen. But now that we understand what the story is, we can better know the direction they will go and how Kang could fit in. The Kangs could act as the Beyonders in DoomsDay. Maybe we could see Doom team up with heroes to stop Kang and break the loop. He Who Remains makes it clear that everything that happens, has happened, and will happen was paved by him. Loki pausing time and talking to Kang was a part of the plan. The temporal loom was a failsafe.
When the loom is overloaded with branches, it deletes the ones that aren't supposed to be there. Everything except the sacred timeline.
All the excess timelines were being destroyed, so Loki built the time tree to save all the timelines. But that doesn't break the loop, it continues it, because now that all these timelines exist, the Kang variants are out there.
My variants are already out there.
That's why I think Kang should be related to the story in some way, because the Kangs are still alive, trying to take control of the multiverse. And as long as they exist, at some point a multiversal war will start between them, leading to the destruction of the multiverse. But what if there was something else that he never mentioned? And that leads me to the movie Secret Wars. The Kangs are dangerous, but what if Doom is a third party that makes the war worse?
If you think I'm evil, well, just wait till you meet my variants.
Because one of the variants meets Doom, and Doom is the reason the council turns against each other, or even he just kills them and keeps the power to himself. This kind of plot would perfectly pay off what the other movies set up. In Doomsday, we might see Doom win and build a Battleworld, and if that happens in Secret Wars, someone has to reset it, and I think there are 3 choices. Now, it can't be Loki. He didn't rebuild any of the worlds. He is only keeping them alive. The other option is Franklin Richards. Just like the comics, he would rebuild the MCU. We already know that he possesses great power, which is why Galactus wanted him, and he does have some kind of control over his abilities, which is why he was able to hide his abilities from his parents and bring Susan back to life. The problem is, hiding abilities and bringing someone back to life isn't the same as rebuilding the entire universe. In the comics, Franklin had already been creating pocket universes by the time Secret War happened. In the movies, Franklin hasn't done much of anything. So much power in the hands of a child, but in the right hands could build a better world. One world under Doom. But unlike Wanda in Multiverse of Madness, he's not going to kill Franklin and gain his powers. I think Franklin will serve the role of Molecule Man, acting as a conduit for Doom's powers, allowing Doom to build Battleworld. So if it's not Loki and not Franklin, that means it's He Who Remains. He created the temporal loom to keep the timelines in check. He has the power to destroy timelines and rebuild them. This perfectly pays off everything he said in Loki, how this has happened multiple times. If they break the loop, the Kang variants will exist, resulting in a war. If Doom succeeds in breaking the loop and building a completely new universe, He Who Remains needs to be the one to revert everything back. Now, some may not like this because that means Kang will be stuck in an infinite loop that he described in Loki. So does that mean that the audience just moves on from He Who Remains with no resolution? No, because this story was never about He Who Remains. It was about stopping the destruction of the multiverse. And after everything is said and done, everyone sees who the true hero of this saga is. When all the heroes fall, Loki joins the fight to stop Doom. This will be a grand battle of a god versus an emperor, but Loki ultimately loses to Doom, and as Loki tries to get away, he runs into He Who Remains. And he asked, "Do you now understand?" And Loki replies, "I do." And He Who Remains uses his tech to stop Doom and rebuild the timelines. Then he goes to the castle and watches the sun set on a balanced universe. Now the question is, who do you get to play Kang? I want to see Jonathan Majors back as Kang, but that might turn into a PR nightmare. So, a recast. I have to go with Coleman Domingo, or you may know him as everyone's favorite reality TV host, The Running Man.
This is America, goddammit! And we don't put up with no bullshit!
I know other people have suggested his name in the past, but after seeing this movie, he can definitely pull it off. If he can combine his loud Bobby T performance with his more subtle performance that he gives in Madness, I think he would make a perfect casting choice for Kang. If Marvel does this, they would have pulled off the biggest misdirect in MCU history, and even if they don't, the Russos have never let us down. But now, what do you think? Should Kang return? Who should play him? Leave all your thoughts down below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.
Layers, guys.